You'd have to really be too stupid to be scared. Not be acting like you not scared. This is how they traffic. And so you would have to really not be scared.
Pig parties. Those whispered Hollywood nightmares everyone pretends not to know about. The hidden gatherings where the lights go dim, the cameras are off, and the real power starts to play dirty. These aren't your glammed up red carpet events or friendly rap parties. These are the behind closed doors meetings where reputations are bought, souls are sold, and silence is the ticket in. Katt Williams once said the real Hollywood doesn't happen on set. It happens in the shadows of these rooms where people trade innocence for influence. Now here's where it gets dark. The internet's going crazy because David's name just got dragged into the storm, all connected to the chilling death of Celeste Rivas Hernandez.
Friends around him are extremely shocked that he's even remotely connected to this grisly murder of a 14-year-old girl. Obviously, he has not been named a person of interest, and from what we've seen, there is no legitimate connection connecting him to the death of this young girl. However, her remains were found in his car, and just that connection alone has really shocked a lot of people around him.
A 15-year-old girl found lifeless inside his Tesla. Her cause of death, still deferred, whatever that means. Friends swore they thought she was his college girlfriend, not realizing she was a teenager. And while everyone describes David as shy, quiet, and gentle, others are starting to call that silence something else. Guilt. This isn't some random rumor anymore. It's a full-blown mystery that Hollywood seems desperate to bury. Katt's words hit different now, because in this town, fame always comes with a price tag. You want the deal? You want the crown? You gotta give something up. That's what people are whispering, claiming Celeste wasn't just a tragedy, she was a transaction, a dark offering tied to one of those alleged pig parties. Sounds insane, right? But check the timeline. It lines up too perfectly. David goes from TikTok nobody to a major label artist overnight, bagging millions of streams and an Interscope deal. All around the same time, Celeste's life unravels. She goes missing not once, but multiple times before being found in his car trunk. And instead of a full-scale investigation, everything just stops. No statement from him, no closure from the coroner, just silence, thick and heavy, like someone's pulling strings behind the scenes. That's why the streets won't let this story die. When Katt Williams warns that the industry's built on rituals and secrets, people start connecting dots. Whitney, Aaliyah, countless others who mysteriously fell right before someone else rose. Hollywood keeps calling it coincidence. But this one feels different. Something's not adding up, and the silence is screaming louder than words. It always follows the same eerie pattern. Kanye losing his mother right before his empire exploded, Michael passing just before his massive comeback tour. It's like tragedy always circles the brightest stars. Every time a major name rises, someone close falls, and the whispers start flying about sacrifice. Now those same dots are being connected again with David. Allegedly, Celeste wasn't just collateral. She was the price of entry into those same secret pig parties Katt Williams has been warning the world about for years.
That's just so crazy because, we think, how does a 14-year-old child present as a 19-year-old woman? And I was told that these people were just so sure that she was a college student. They were specific. They said that she attended USC from what they believed. And also she was seen at events where there's age restrictions.
People have been digging deep, scouring David's shows, his interviews, even his old lyrics, hunting for clues that might link him to Celeste. And while nothing official has been confirmed, fans swear the hints are hiding in plain sight. Take his 2022 hit, Romantic Homicide. The lyrics sent chills through social media all over again. He says, "In the back of my mind, you died, and I didn't even cry, not a single tear." That line alone reignited the theory mill, with thousands claiming it was some kind of confession. But let's be clear, there's no verified evidence that it's connected to Celeste's death. Still, the timing, the emotion, it's unsettling. So what is a pig party, really? The name sounds ridiculous, almost like some twisted Hollywood myth. But insiders say the stories have been floating around for decades. It's said to be half initiation, half humiliation, a ritual masked as a celebration. According to the whispers, these aren't the glittery VIP after parties with champagne and slow music. These are private nightmares dressed in designer clothes. Allegedly, you don't get invited because you're famous. You get invited because you're willing to prove how far you'll go to stay famous. And once you're inside, there's no turning back. The stories say these events test how deep your loyalty runs, pushing stars, executives, and desperate newcomers beyond their morals. Some say those who refuse don't just lose invites, they lose their whole careers. Whether truth or legend, it's a dark rumor that won't die. And now David's name is tangled right in the middle of it. The way it supposedly works is sinister. The cameras never stop rolling. Everything is recorded, every moment carefully staged to trap people in situations they can never talk their way out of. It's all about leverage. You say no later? Too bad. There's footage already locked in a vault ready to be used if you ever try to step out of line. That's how the powers that be keep control, not through contracts, but through fear. And this isn't some new rumor that popped up on TikTok. It's decades old. People have been whispering about it since the so-called golden era of Hollywood. Back then, insiders claimed Hugh Hefner's mansion wasn't just a Playboy paradise. It was a dressed-up version of these same pig parties. And when Stanley Kubrick dropped Eyes Wide Shut, conspiracy heads swore he wasn't making fiction. He was showing us the real thing. Some even say that's why the movie was so controversial, that Kubrick was warning us about what happens behind closed doors when power and perversion mix. Jaguar Wright, Orlando Brown, and even Katt Williams himself have all painted wild, chilling pictures of these so-called elite gatherings, scenes where morality disappears and reputation becomes currency. In these stories, pig parties aren't just about freaky behavior or gossip, they're about domination. They're rituals dressed as parties, designed to test loyalty through humiliation and control. Allegedly, newcomers get initiated by being broken down, mentally, emotionally, sometimes worse. Katt always says it plain, Hollywood doesn't reward talent, it rewards obedience. That line hits different when you look at how fast some careers skyrocket overnight. The question everyone's asking is, what did they have to give up to rise that fast? And that's where David's story twists into something much darker. The theory goes that Celeste wasn't just his girlfriend. She was allegedly brought in as part of that scene. Those fake IDs, her sudden appearances at clubs and industry parties despite being only 15, her strange disappearance months before she was found, every piece feeds into the narrative that she was moving through circles way too grown, way too dangerous for someone her age. It's disturbing beyond words. But in gossip circles, that imbalance, powerful men and vulnerable young women, is the foundation of how these pig parties supposedly operate. It's exploitation wrapped in secrecy, and the system knows how to bury it. So if David was really there, if Celeste really got pulled into that world, then her death starts to look less like bad luck and more like punishment. That's why Katt's warnings hit like thunder, because allegedly Hollywood doesn't just party, it ritualizes. Once you step inside that room, you don't walk out the same, not in spirit, not in soul, not ever. Now this is where the whispers start cutting deep, because David isn't some washed-up celebrity trying to cling to fame. He's the soft-spoken kid who came out of nowhere on TikTok and suddenly became a global name. No long grind, no slow rise, one viral hit, a label deal, and boom! He's got millions of streams and an album before half the world even knew how to pronounce his stage name. To fans, it looked like a fairy tale. But to the streets, it looked too clean, too fast, like something else was fueling that rise. And that's where Celeste Rivas Hernandez enters the picture, a name that's turned into the heartbeat of this entire story. On paper, she was just a 15-year-old girl who went missing multiple times in 2024 before being found lifeless in the trunk of David's Tesla. But when you start lining up the dates, everything starts looking off. Friends swear they saw her with him often, at clubs, at private events, even at age-restricted industry parties. They thought she was 19, maybe a USC student, because that's how she carried herself. But the truth? She wasn't in college. She was still a kid. And the fact that she was sliding into these grown-up spaces with fake IDs while David was always nearby, it makes people wonder just how deep he was in. That's exactly why the sacrifice talk won't die. Katt Williams has said it again and again. Hollywood doesn't give you fame for free. You want the light? You pay with something in the dark. That's the quote fans keep replaying when they look at this case. Because when you line it up, Celeste's disappearances, her tragic end, and David's rapid come up, the timing is chilling. The question writes itself. Was she collateral or was she currency? And here's the part that really gives people chills. David's breakout hit romantic homicide carried the haunting line. In the back of my mind, you die. When it first dropped, everyone thought it was just heartbreak poetry, dark art, edgy lyrics. But now, fans are replaying it like it's a confession hidden in plain sight, especially when you pair it with his alter ego, Eat Tommy, the character drenched in red and blood imagery. Suddenly, it feels less like creative expression and more like a message coded in performance. It's wild to even imagine, but to those following the clues, it's no coincidence. The symbolism, the timing, the silence, it all stacks up. What looked like a Cinderella rise is now starting to feel like something darker, a trade-off dressed as a dream, a success story that might have come with a price no one was supposed to notice. Things started slipping fast. Even David's old TikTok clips are being pulled apart frame by frame. One video where he jokingly said he'd chop chicken if his girl talked to other dudes, yeah, that one, is now being reinterpreted as a red flag, not as a joke, but as a clue. Again, there's no proof of anything, but in Hollywood conspiracy talk, proof doesn't even matter anymore. Patterns do, and this pattern, the culture's seen it too many times to ignore. It's the same eerie cycle. A rising star blows up out of nowhere, tragedy strikes close, the team goes silent, and somehow the career keeps rising until the whispers finally catch up. It's that perfect storm of fame and loss that makes people's skin crawl. So when fans claim Celeste was David's alleged sacrifice, they're not talking about evidence, they're talking about alignment. The chilling idea that one life was cut short so another could ascend, and if that tragedy really did unfold during one of those secret pig parties Katt Williams keeps warning about, then it wouldn't look like an accident anymore. It looked like an initiation. Allegedly, the kind of moment where a career crosses the point of no return. Now things are heating up again because new footage has surfaced online. Grainy, shaky, but terrifying. It reportedly shows what might be Celeste Hernandez's final movements before she vanished. The clip is said to capture her near a parking lot right before she was found lifeless inside a car registered to David. Fans are dissecting every second, while reporters are quietly digging into fresh details about how long that Tesla was left abandoned. Each new piece adds another shadow to the timeline, and it's painting a darker picture than before. That's why this sacrifice theory around David and Celeste just won't die down. It doesn't exist in isolation. It's part of a much bigger pattern that Hollywood's been haunted by for decades. Allegedly, too many stars hit their peak right after someone close to them is gone. People still talk about Whitney Houston, how her death came just as major deals were forming again. Then her daughter's tragic end echoed that same pattern years later. To the outside world, these are coincidences. But to those who've watched the industry long enough, they start to feel like repetitions of the same unspoken ritual. So now the question lingers, is this all conspiracy talk gone wild? Or are we watching history repeat itself, one sacrifice at a time? People still side-eye the way Whitney Houston's story ended. The timing, the setting, everything. She passed away the very same weekend as Clive Davis's legendary pre-Grammy party. A celebration still went on downstairs while her body was discovered upstairs. That image haunts people to this day. It's like Hollywood was toasting success while tragedy literally lingered above them. And then just a few years later, her daughter, Bobby Christina, was found in nearly identical circumstances. Same eerie setup, same unanswered questions. The rumor mill calls it the double sacrifice, a generational toll paid to keep the machine alive. And Kanye West, he didn't even whisper it. He said it flat out. He called his own mother Donda his sacrifice. Whether you believe him or not, his timeline lines up too perfectly. Right after her death, his career shot from respected rapper to global mogul. Katt Williams often brings this up as living proof that even the insiders admit the game's not clean. When someone with Kanye's reach starts echoing the same warnings Katt's been shouting for years, people listen. Then there's Aaliyah. Officially, her death was ruled a tragic plane crash in 2001, but the way it went down still makes people uneasy. Whispers say the pilot was pressured to take off even though the plane was overloaded, and that she didn't even want to board that flight. The eerie part? Her passing instantly froze her in time as an icon and, in the eyes of conspiracy followers, cleared the lane for others in the industry to rise. That's the uncomfortable question nobody dares ask out loud. Who benefits every time a star is taken too soon? Even Michael Jackson's story fits that same chilling template. His death in 2009 came just before his record-breaking comeback tour, a tour expected to move billions. Official reports ruled it a homicide caused by a propofol overdose, but the streets never bought that simple explanation. They believe he was silenced because he was becoming too powerful, too independent, and too vocal about what really happens behind closed doors. And when you throw in the infamous party culture, things get even darker. Diddy's exclusive gatherings, for example, have long been rumored to be far more than just VIP celebrations. Former guests have described them as freak-offs, where artists are allegedly tested, compromised, and controlled. It's said that these parties blur the lines between pleasure and manipulation. And once you're in, there's no walking out untouched. All these stories share the same rhythm: fame, tragedy, and silence. It's not about proving every rumor true, it's about how the pattern keeps repeating. And every time someone like Katt Williams brings it up, the whole industry flinches. Jaguar Wright didn't mince words, and she swore up and down in interviews that half the industry is owned because of what went down at those so-called private events. She claimed the power players keep everyone in check with what they've seen or done behind those locked doors. And now the phrase pig party feels like the new, nastier label for that same old game: control through compromise. So when people hear that David was often spotted with Celeste, a 15-year-old, at nightclubs, invite-only events, and parties she shouldn't have been anywhere near, the theory clicks instantly. It's the same disturbing pattern Hollywood's seen too many times before. A young, bright star rises fast, a tragedy strikes, and suddenly there's silence from their whole team. No clarity, no closure, just rumors about something ritualistic hiding in the shadows. That's what makes the whole story so explosive. It feels like history repeating itself. The parallels are chilling. Whitney Houston, Aaliyah, Kanye's mom Donda, Michael Jackson, all icons who met sudden tragic ends right as they stood on the edge of something even bigger. And now people are whispering that Celeste might just be the newest name added to that same unspoken list, the Hollywood sacrifices, as conspiracy followers call it. At the core, what makes this story stick isn't just the heartbreak of losing Celeste or David's meteoric rise, it's how familiar it all feels. It's deja vu wrapped in grief. Another young life gone way too soon, another artist suddenly elevated, another timeline where the whispers line up a little too perfectly with the headlines. It's the same script, just with new faces. Katt Williams has been shouting about this for years, warning anyone who will listen that the entertainment industry doesn't run on pure talent. There's a toll, he says. You either pay it or you get locked out. Whether you think he's a truth teller or just stirring chaos, his words suddenly sound less like jokes and more like a prophecy aimed straight at David's situation. And the silence, that's what's driving everyone crazy. David hasn't spoken publicly once. No statement, no denial, not even a post. He canceled his tour dates, shut down his lease, and disappeared from the public eye. To his supporters, that looks like grief. A young man mourning something he can't put into words. But to the gossip world, it screams guilt, because the question everyone keeps asking won't go away. If he's truly innocent, why not just come out and say it? In Hollywood, silence is never just silence. It's a statement all on its own. If Celeste's death was truly an accident, then why not clear the air? Why vanish in silence while the world keeps asking questions? Every day that David stays quiet, the whispers grow teeth, sharper, louder, hungrier. For Celeste, though, the legacy she's left behind is even more haunting. She was only 15, just a kid with a future ahead of her. And yet, she was being seen at clubs, at industry mixers, slipping past velvet ropes with fake IDs, surrounded by grown adults who should have known better. Everyone said she was bright, polite, full of promise. But instead, she ended up as a headline, another young girl swallowed by the same ruthless machine that chews up innocence and spits out profit. And that's the real heartbreak. Her name lives louder in conspiracy threads than in memorials. The world's not talking about her dreams anymore. They're talking about what she represents. That's the twisted line where grief and gossip collide. Meanwhile, Hollywood keeps pretending like it's business as usual. But these pig party whispers, they're not going anywhere. In fact, Celeste's story just poured gasoline on them. People are already side-eyeing Diddy's infamous gatherings again, revisiting Jaguar Wright's raw confessions, replaying Kanye's eerie words about losing Donda as his sacrifice. And now, a 15-year-old girl found lifeless in a Tesla tied to a rising star. That's the kind of headline that makes every old rumor feel brand new again. The industry's response? Silence. The one thing that only makes the noise louder. Because in Hollywood, every unanswered question starts to sound like confirmation. The more they try to bury these stories, the more the ground seems to shake beneath them. So what happens next? Maybe nothing. Maybe this story fades away like so many others before it. Or maybe someone else steps up, another insider with nothing to lose, another voice brave enough to call out the truth the industry hides behind billion-dollar smiles. Someone like Katt Williams, who's already risked ridicule by saying what others are too scared to whisper.
It's easy for them to do. They're adept at doing a ditty, getting rid of you and not having no handprints on it.
Because here's the irony. The quieter Hollywood gets, the louder the whispers become. Right now, those whispers are screaming that Celeste wasn't just a victim, she was allegedly a sacrifice. And if that's true, then David's career isn't the beginning of some Cinderella fairy tale. It's the start of a curse born from silence, secrets, and the kind of fame that demands blood before it ever offers light. So now we're left staring at a story that feels bigger than gossip. It's a mirror reflecting everything dark about fame. A young life gone too soon, a rising star drenched in suspicion, and an industry that stays quiet no matter how loud the public screams. The deeper you look, the more the pattern repeats. Silence, tragedy, success. It's the rhythm Hollywood never wants you to notice, but it plays out every single time. Whether you believe in pig parties or think it's all internet noise, one thing's undeniable. Celeste's story has cracked something open. It's forcing people to ask how far the industry really goes to protect its own. How much truth hides behind the glitz, and how many careers are built on secrets we'll never fully see. Every unanswered question keeps her memory alive. Every rumor keeps that silence echoing louder than words. And as for David, his future now sits on a knife's edge. The fame he once dreamed about could be the very thing that ruins him if he never speaks. Because when you let the whispers write your story, they'll turn it into something you can't control. Katt Williams once said, "Hollywood doesn't kill your body, it kills your truth." And right now, the truth feels buried deep under velvet ropes and red carpets. But one thing's for sure, this saga isn't just about one artist or one tragedy, it's a reflection of the system itself. This is BarzBuzz, where we don't just chase the headlines, we decode them. Was Celeste's story a tragic accident, or the latest example of a machine built on silence and sacrifice? Drop your take in the comments, because your voice might just be the one that shakes the truth loose. If this saga had you shook, wait till you see what's next. You already know what it is. BarzBuzz got the real, raw, and unfiltered breakdowns. So don't forget to like, subscribe, drop a comment, and share this with someone who needs to catch up.